Okay, there's like this group of guys who are like white power. I've actually figured out white power people are just inbred hicks and like not very European, so they're like mongrels where like they don't have like an actual ethnic heritage and they're just like really mixed and they're really inbred. Like there's like two generations of inbreeding in their genealogy, and then they also like to like get scared of other people who aren't like them because they're like always constantly projecting. I don't know what to do about it because they're super creepy. So there's like these two guys over there and they've been just staring at me and on their phone and they're like threatening to call the police because they're scared of the fact that they're inbred. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Honestly, I'm like, I don't understand what they're trying to say because they're just so creepy. I just honestly, the minute that they start being really creepy, I just tune it out. I stop paying attention. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying because you're a fucking loser. But whatever. I don't know what else to do. They won't leave me alone. It's not just them. It's a group of them. I think they all know each other somehow. I don't know how they know each other. I'm assuming they're friends with each other. They might not be. Maybe they just work together, some of them, and some of them are actually friends. But there's a group of them following me around, harassing me, and always looking at me, and they're all Jewish and they're all white. And it's really creepy. Like, I don't live near where they live, and I'm not doing anything illegal, but like, they're like threatening to call the police and like saying that we're gonna just make up something so that you go to prison. So I'm just like, you should be in prison because incest is illegal. Oh, that's what they were projecting. They were the ones doing the illegal stuff, and then they're blaming other people for the illegal activities that they're doing because they don't want to go to prison. So they're like, you know what? Oh, that's how they think. They're like, there's only like 50 cells in that prison, and if it's too full, then no one's ever gonna be like, you can't go to prison. Like, just make sure that the prison's filled 50 of them, and then after that, like, I won't have to go to prison. And I'm like, that's not really how that works. Yeah, oh my god, yo, they're so stupid. Oh wow, well, it took me a while to figure that out. I was like, what kind of idiot thinks that? I'm not going to prison because it's already full there, so can't can't convict me. I think that's like what people say right before they have like a meltdown. It's so weird. But yeah, I don't know why they won't stop following me around, harassing me. Like, it's really creepy. Like, they're actually like they're in their 40s and some of them have kids and I'm like, that's disgusting because they have kids with their cousins or their second cousins or like, just change your name and then technically we can be legally listed as non-cousins or whatever. And I'm like, isn't that a marriage scam? But whatever, I don't know how to get rid of them. Like, I keep telling them I'm not interested, I don't like them, and they need to leave me alone because you're just projecting your own insecurities to me. It's what you're doing, but you're like trying to blame me for it because you think that's how people get away with doing stuff like that. Because they live in a reality where like movies and TVs are real. That's a step-by-step play on how things progress in life. That's like, it's so weird. And then like every time I tell them off or I tell them this is what's going on, they like completely like they get traumatized and they blank out and they're like, and then they start talking about some inane bullshit and they just start like making noises to fill the air. It's like word salad. It's so funny. No, it's not funny. It's inappropriate and I shouldn't really care. Whatever. Blah blah blah. I don't know how to get them to leave me alone. Like, it's been such a pain in the ass and I'm like, okay, look, I have nothing to do with you and you doing this is called harassment. Harassment. It's illegal. I get that you think only stealing and lying to the police is illegal because you're really stupid. But, you know, crime encompasses a multitude of harmful behaviors towards innocent civilians. You know? They're not gonna get this. They're so stupid. I didn't know all these people who were following me around were actually high school dropouts. Yeah, they were really angry because they're like, I thought you were a high school dropout. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you didn't graduate from high school. And I was like, I did. I graduated with extra credits. What are you talking about? And they're like, and I'm like, I don't even know you. Why are you making up stuff about me? Like I didn't even say anything. And they're like, yeah, all these weird losers who dropped out of high school or got their GD when they're like 30. They're like, I thought you dropped out of high school. Like I thought you were like when I'm like I didn't drop out of high school. I graduated with extra credits and a good enough grade to get into university. I have no idea why you think that way. Like you think I'm making up these documents? You think all these people are hallucinating and saying, yeah, she was there, just like all together and on trying to make fun of you or something? Well, you're that important or something? Like they're crazy. And the Jewish guy, the Tomer, the rapist who stole from me and was raping me, he was like, convincing everyone like you're just lying about going to university, like you drop out of high school just like me, and like you're just as inappropriate as I am, when I don't even know what hole he crawled out of. And like every time he took me out in public, everybody saw what he was doing, and it was just so embarrassing to be around. You know, he was just like, you're a bitch, like, okay, do you want to make out now? And I'm like, Jesus. Like it was really bad. It was really bad. And then he would like, I don't know why people said that. I was like, oh yeah, because I was like, technically I didn't graduate from high school, and like I was trying to throw shade at Cheris because I know she paid for those credits, but she didn't really graduate. Like she went to like summer school and stuff, if you know what I mean. And also like I was throwing shade at Racing and Nick and Sam. Three of them, they didn't actually graduate from high school. Like they got their GED. That's why I was having such a big problem with it. I'm like, why are you here? Like, can't you be normal? Like, can't you be like me, where you graduate on time? Me and Cheris, actually, we were the only two who were actually getting along. But like, we didn't, like, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. Like, our friendship just died. And I was like, thanks, Cheris. She's so wishy-washy, and I couldn't rely on her for anything. But like, she's like this to everyone, and it's like, okay, Cheris, we gotta hang out now. And then she's like, no. And then she just like randomly go through my stuff when I wasn't there. She thought I didn't know, and I was like, I know you're going through my stuff. And she's like, no, you didn't see me. And I was like, whatever you say, Cheris. And then yeah, and then we would make fun of Nick all the time, but he didn't get it. And then a bunch of guys were trying to like get in on it. Like I think their name was what's his name? One of them name was Wes, and his friend Chad, I think, Chad and Wes. And they were like trying to make fun of Charis by making fun of me, and then like saying like they know what we're talking about because whatever. And then I was like, I don't care. Nick is weird, and I don't think he's like you guys, and that's why they kind of stopped hanging out with that guy. And then that's why Nick started making rumors about me, because I was like telling them like this guy's weird. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like if he didn't do that, like if I wasn't distracting him, he would be like after you guys and like stealing from you and like trying to force you to pay for his beers, which is kind of gay. And they're like, they didn't have anything to say. I'm like, they're not the same. Like I think Wes said he was French, and then Chad, I think both of them are supposed to be French, I think. And Nick was supposed to be Russian, so I was like, I actually don't know how French they are. Like I don't know if they were born here or not. But those two actually Wes got his GED and got into university that way, and I was like, ew. Chad didn't get his GED, so Chad, Cheris, and I were the ones who actually graduated on time. I didn't actually go and pick up my diploma. I don't know why they didn't even mail it to me. They were supposed to mail me my diploma. They never did, so I was like, I guess I have no evidence of me graduating from high school now, even though I already graduated, I already got into university. All these people are like, oh, you dropped out of high school, didn't you? Like, Lulu, you're just acting like you're smart. And I'm like, you're completely projecting, okay? Like, that's what you're doing. You're acting like you know what's going on. You're acting like you're smart, but you're not really. And this is when I realized, right, not right now, but like back then I was like, this is probably why a lot of people don't like them, because like they're dumb, you know. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Tiffany got her GED after too. Yeah, she didn't graduate on time, and I was like every person that I met who had their GED was really like awkward and creepy, and they never graduated on time, and like they just didn't want to like, you know what I mean? Like they never wanted to like hang out normally, and they're like always getting high off of really stupid stuff. They're like, oh yeah, let's smoke crack, like crack's cool now, and they're like, get high, smoke weed, and go to work and stuff. And I was like, Yeah, those are high school dropouts, and they turn out to be burnouts like Waleed, and I was like, that's disgusting. And it doesn't matter if you get your GED. The point is you've missed your timeline for that. I mean, you can get your what post-secondary education. This is why it's called post-secondary education. So it's like a post-secondary. So after your secondary education, it's whenever after. The important part is you're supposed to get it before you turn 18. The GED, like, it's weird that you did it. Like, it took you so long to get that. Yeah, and Racy thought I was like her maid. She's like, yeah, you're a maid. You're like my handmaiden because she was talking about Susan, and I was like, I'm not a kid, you know that. And she's like, she didn't want to accept the fact that I was doing better than her, and I was like, actually wealthier than her. Like genetically speaking, her and this girl named Crystal, who actually, I think, both of the Crystal didn't get into good school because she had really bad grades. But she lied about it to her parents. Like she made up her grades on her. Like I think she like photocopied it and photoshopped it and showed it to her parents to say that she was doing well in school when she like missed half her classes and like wasn't doing so well. And I was like, yeah, I know you're stupid. I met you when I was a kid. You're an idiot. You don't even know what schoolwork is. And all you care about is trying to be better than everyone else. So yeah, that's a fucking idiot right there. Renee's just like her. And so is for nerds. Like they only care about looking better than other people or doing better than other people. Like I was assuming that they were smoking crack, but they were just like that. Like it doesn't matter what's going on. Like as long as there's some aspect to them that's better than somebody else. And they'll always bring that up and mention it. They're like, yeah, I have more money than you. You know that. You know my house is three rooms and your house only has one room. Yeah, yeah. That yeah. This is why I'm better than you. And I'm like, are you like tweaking or something? What the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, you can get your university degree whenever you want. It's not really a big deal. No one cares. I gotta be honest. Like that degree means that you completed a course and now you're trained to work certain positions more so than other people. People who have their PhDs don't get their PhDs because they want to work a certain job, even though it really does help when you're immigrating. People with PhDs get their PhDs because they actually like being academics. That's kind of like their career. You know, they're like the research is their career. Like their jobs are to research and further improve education. That's their job. That's PhD. That's what PhDs do. Like so, like they assess this information. They do a lot of analysis and they try to make it as presentable and palatable to people regardless of the topic at hand. I've noticed a lot of PhDs speak more than one language. So I don't know if that's a requirement, but yeah, it's PhD level work. A master's degree is typically awarded to students who are looking to get a PhD, but they end up actually just working as like they typically are like they're like independent contractors. Like they either work as consultants or they work as like if you were a lawyer, which is a master's degree, that's like you can end up working for a private firm, like, so it's kind of like independent thing. PhDs don't usually work corporate. Yeah, they stay in academics and they do a lot of research and they work in education and education reform. Like those are PhDs. A lot of people with PhDs they work in politics too. Some people with masters work in politics, but it's low-level government employees who have master's degrees. So like I don't know, like if you ever wanted to apply for welfare, those are usually master degree people. If you ever wanted to work as like an accountant for a department in the government, that's master's degree. So they typically hold like an accounting degree and plus an extra master's degree. So those are the people that work at those jobs. They have master's degree. Usually they're from a more affluential background because their parents were able to afford their education. So their parents saved up enough money to put them through school. Not always. Some of them actually did go through student loans. I think that's what one of the doctors told me that. He's like, you're not the only person with a student loan. It's weird that they're treating that way. And I'm like, it just doesn't really seem like I'm Like, he's like, yeah, you'd be surprised how many people went through student loans to get a degree so they can get a job. And I'm like, so why is it so hard for me? And I think he's just trying to say that people were just getting jealous and it kind of clouded their judgment, and they were only really doing so well to begin with, which is why they ended up working there. It's kind of insulting to me, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I didn't know universities in public. It's public schooling. It's where a lot of PhDs work. If you wanted to get like an accredited institution, like I'm pretty sure private school kids go to universities too, but not a lot of them because I think they don't really like the kids there. Most of them probably hire their own like professors or something to like, teach them separately. No, I'm talking about like really rich people, like they like earn like 8-figure, 9-figure income a year. A lot of people don't believe that he exists, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of them anymore. Like before, I think they were a lot wealthier, but they ran through their inheritance funds and they don't have any way to like make more money. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, I did graduate high school. I did go to university. I don't know what people thought that I did. It's just weird. Yeah, I was like, technically I didn't graduate. I was being sarcastic, okay? It wasn't me. The foster parents didn't graduate high school, but they had their family was financially stable and they had a lot of family members willing to help them out. And one of them, I think he said he has a PhD. I don't believe him at all. Like I think he's lying. Yeah, I think he's lying about that. I don't think he has a PhD. I don't know if he graduated from high school. Maybe he has a PhD, I don't know. I've met a lot of shitty PhDs, but they never actually not work. That's the thing. He doesn't actually work. So I don't think he has a PhD. Like, if you hire a PhD to do a job, like, regardless of what they say and how they treat you, they'll still finish the job. But with, like, with master's people, like, you kind of have to oversee them a little bit. Like, master degrees, like, they have to, like, you have to oversee what they're doing and, like, make sure, like, look after them and, like, make sure that, like, they're not making, there's no errors in there, like, a lot of human errors with master degrees people. PhDs, no human errors, work will be completed, but they may not actually like you, and that. Oh, doctors are master's degrees. I mean, not master's degree, PhD. Lawyers are masters, doctors are PhD. It takes a long time to go through med school, so it's like 4 years of undergrad, and then an extra 4 years of med school. I've never seen a doctor because, no, actually, I've seen a lot of psychiatrists, and all of them had PhDs. Or like at least they had a medical degree in excessive, like not excessive, like extra like credentials. My skin started to break out. I don't know why. Yeah. Like I'm getting allergies. I woke up with a rash on my fucking body, and I don't think, I don't know, I just feel really sick. Also, I'm allergic to all this stuff. So maybe allergies. Oh, okay.